Manchester United versus Leicester City. Just for those listening, as most of you do on the Friday and Saturday morning on the podcast, we are recording this Thursday morning before Manchester United's tie against Barcelona. We'll take a look at the betting as we have it on matchbook.com currently. United are 1.65 favourites. Leicester 5.9. Draws available at around 7-2 or 4.4. Both teams to score yes is available. 1.71 no in that market is 2.24. The Asian handicap line sees Leicester get a 1-goal head start at around 10-11 or 1.91. And the total goals you can back currently is 3.0. Mark, we'll go back to you again on this. I know you wanted to talk about this game. It is a fascinating tie in terms of where both these teams at. Like United 20.0 for the Premier League title. Any sort of a squeak if they go on a run. Like just on this, like Marcus Rashford's playing the best football of his career by an absolute mile. So you can never really write them off if he's still firing the goals in.
Yeah, you'd never rule any team out. I think we've learnt in previous years. I'm certainly experienced enough to see more than enough Premier League title races to believe that February time is not a time to be ruling any team out of the title race, no matter how far back they are. Only in the last couple of years, we've seen both Liverpool and Man City overturn massive deficits to go close or even win the thing. So there was always a chance, but I just think United right now, particularly going into this weekend with that Casemiro and without the injured Christian Eriksen until the end of the season, hammer blows really for a team who were progressing really nicely under Erik ten Hag and actually trending to be one of the most consistently best teams in the division since those opening 2 weeks, which ended in sort of disastrous defeats to Brighton and Brentford. But for this match, I'm going to revisit a familiar theme we've covered many times on the podcast over the last 18 months, 2 seasons, and that's goals in Leicester games whenever they play away from the KP. They're heading to Old Trafford, of course, fresh from a 4-1 thrashing of an understrength Spurs team and then clinical 4-2 win against Aston Villa the week previous to sort of ease their relegation concerns. They had been struggling to score goals, but I think James Maddison's return, the signing of Tete as well, really eye-catching debut he had against Villa, and then obviously being quite influential recently too. Harvey Barnes continues to operate at a really high level as well. They rode their luck a little bit at Villa, but were very clinical in the final third. But I think they were much better, or obviously much more dominant against Tottenham last time out. And Kelechi Iheanacho as well has been leading the line superbly well. We see it all the time, really. Leicester have got more than enough quality in forward areas to trouble every single opponent in the Premier League, and they've proven that as well. The way in which they took Tottenham to the sword last week was really impressive, and Iheanacho himself leading that line. He's now contributed to 7 goals and assists in his last 3 outings, which is incredible effort, really. But yeah, Leicester away from home since the start of last season, they have scored in 27 of 30 away Premier League games, which is remarkable, averaging 1.63 goals away from home. That's basically a better strike than almost all of their Premier League rivals away from home. The issue being is they just don't keep clean sheets, just 4 in that 30 away game sample. That's led to 77% of both teams scoring in those away games and fixtures averaging 3.66 goals per game, a very high total. This season alone, they scored in 10 of 11 away. They scored twice or more in 7 of those 11 away, averaging 1.91 goals on their travels. They scored twice at the Emirates, twice at Spurs, Brighton, and scored at Anfield and Stamford Bridge. They don't care who you are, where you're from, what your history is. They will go there and attack you, and they tend to score goals. So I fancy them to do that, considering there's no Casemiro here, which obviously weakens United in the middle. No Eriksen, a United team who've kept 1 clean sheet in 6 in the Premier League recently now. And obviously, as you say, in between 2 testing Europa League ties against Barcelona. And Erik ten Hag has been quite bullish about his desire to win trophies this season with United. He's a serial winner. He wants trophies. He wants to win competitions. I expect United to take those matches pretty seriously against Barcelona, as they have done in both cup competitions domestically too. But ultimately, United are pretty strong at Old Trafford too. I think it's 8 wins from 11. They've scored twice or more in 8 times as well. As you say, Rashford's in tremendous form. Garnacho is making a real impact. Bruno Fernandes looks like the player we knew from his first couple of seasons. And it's no surprise, really, Ronaldo's left the club and suddenly these players are starting to come to the party again. So, obviously, I think United will contribute. I think both teams score. And I think if we can get to 2 goals, we can easily get 3, 4, possibly even 5. So I've gone over 2 3/4 goals, just shy of 1.8.
Okay, yeah, I thought of the Backstreet Boys when you were saying I don't care who you are, where you're from there, Marcus. I thought you were going to keep going with that reference. Yeah. But look, there's some interesting, fascinating stats amount of Leicester City away from home, Adrian. I guess you're on the same lines, but you're a small bit safer with both teams to score around 1.71.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smaller price for a reason. Yeah, I just think both teams to score feels pretty nailed on. Yeah, Mark's used all the stats really. Just one blank on the road this season from Leicester City. That was at Nottingham Forest. A really inept performance that day. Other than that, they just keep scoring away from home. The front four, terrific. I wrote a piece for the Premier League on that front four that's not been released yet, but incredible. I mean, 11 direct goal contributions from those four players in the last 2 games. 2 games. They've all scored. Tete, Maddison, Barnes, and Iheanacho. They've all assisted apart from Tete, sometimes multiple times. They have been on fire, and I think that given United's weakness in midfield at the minute, they'll get opportunities to create and score in this game as well. But yeah, clean sheets just a really rare occurrence, aren't they, for the Foxes? And Man United have a great record against Leicester in terms of scoring goals. They've scored at least once in each of their last 27 Premier League matches against Leicester City. So it's a real rare occurrence if they don't find the back of the net in this fixture. So both teams to score for me is the pick, but look, you get a better price with Mark's selection. So yeah, I can absolutely see why he's gone for that.
Yeah, let's lock in both teams to score 1.71. Slightly safer on that regard. Manchester United, Leicester, both teams to score in around 1.71. If you do like Mark's selection over 2 3/4, it's in around 1.78.